Hello everyone, this is Jeremy and welcome to episode 33 of FTB Infinity Evolved Skyblock mode. Today we continue on our journey towards the Elven gateway from Britannia. We've already made the gateway core, which is probably the most difficult part, but we still need, I think it's like 3 glimmering living wood, which takes some terrasteel nuggets, and a couple of Natura pylons, which take a couple more terrasteel ingots, plus looks like just miscellaneous things we already have. But that means we have to craft some more terrasteel. So over to our agglomeration plate again. And at some point we'll want to make this process a little bit easier than literally throwing stuff there and waiting for the results. But for now, since I only need like 6 or 7 ingots, this will do. Then again, I only have the mana in my mana pools to make 4 ingots. It's a little annoying. Oh, there's one. Can I just leave that there and throw the mats for the next one on? No, I can't. I have to actually pick it up. Oh well. Automating the pickup is so easy, I'm just going to do it. Put a drawer, lock it to terrasteel ingots, and then put an ender collector on it. And now that will only pick up terrasteel because that's the only thing that fits in the drawer. So it'll leave all the other materials alone until they whatever, agglomerate, amalgamate into terrasteel. It's going to take 3 glimmering living wood and 2 Natura pylons, so that's 4 ingots directly there. Ow, that was loud. 3 by 4, 12, or another 2 ingots. Let's temporarily ramp up our mana production with endo flames, just so I don't have to wait like half an hour to get 2 terrasteel ingots. So, we set this automation up a long time ago, and I hope it still works. All I need to do is right-click with an empty hand and toss seeds. There we go. Nice and easy. I've upgraded our mana generation from 10 total endo flames to 26. It is quite reasonable actually to just continue this trend to like, 40, 50 endo flames, 60 endo flames. Because, I mean, all it consumes is coal, but I'm not going to. This will produce our mana. It'll still take like 10-15 minutes, so perhaps in the meantime, let's work on automating something else. And I'm thinking the automation of slates is a good idea. Right now, if I want slates, I have to like set this filter to specifically which type of slate I want, and then, make sure I have enough arcane stone in here, flip the switch, take the stuff out, and wait forever. The worst part is waiting forever. So let's set up a system that crafts the slates before I want them. First step in that process is to automate the production of arcane stone. There's 2 ways to do it. If we make a Conjuration Catalyst, we can do it with mana infusion. In fact, this is very easy. However, the Conjuration Catalyst requires focused will, I believe. Everything else here we can already make, or at least almost make. But focused will requires Brew of the Flowing Spirit, which is, you have to go to like Witchery Spirit World, do a whole lot of stuff to make this. I'm just not going to bother. The other way to make it is to craft it. There we go. To craft it on a shaped, or on an arcane work table. Thankfully, the arcane work table can be automated in this version of Thaumcraft, so let's do that. The Arcane Assembler is what actually does arcane work table crafting, and it has a Thaumium Boss Silverwood Scepter built into it. So, first we have to make one of these, and then charge the wand, and then we can make the arcane crafter. I think I've said this before, but when it comes to crafting, scepters are just better than wands. The only downside that scepters have is that they cannot use wand caps, which are used to like cast spells. But we're not using these for spells, we're using them for crafting. So, anyways, the difference is a wand is made like this, and a scepter takes a 3rd cap and one of these primal charms. Alright. So the Thaumium Boss Silverwood Scepter, let me make sure it is Thaumium that we need, not Void Metal. Yep. Thaumium Boss Silverwood Scepter. Let's drop it in that slot to charge it, because I think this does use, it requires a fully charged one. We can see here it's 74% casting cost versus the Thaumium Boss Silverwood Wand we have, which is 85%. So I think it's supposed to be 10%, maybe it's 11% less, I guess. I don't know. It's some amount less casting cost. And when the wand goes into the Arcane Assembler, it's effectively built into the Arcane Assembler, the molecular assembler here, and thus the reduced casting cost actually matters to it. So I'm gonna let this be for, it should only take like a minute to refill to 150. Once wand capacities get high like this, you're really thankful that you have the Sentinelist node automatically recharging your wands. Imagine going around to like 20 different nodes to drain them just to recharge your wand once. That'd be quite a pain. This infusion says it's only of high instability, which to me means insignificant instability. So let's get that started. While that crafts, I'm not even going to bother watching it. I'm confident nothing bad could happen. Nothing bad could possibly happen, right? We need some way to actually inscribe the arcane patterns. So while the crafting is a 3x3 pattern, we can't make them in the pattern inscriber here. We need a dedicated pattern inscribing doohickey. If memory serves me right, the patterns are inscribed in a knowledge inscriber. We have to make a spare Thaumonomicon for that. I mean, I guess we could use our Thaumonomicon, but I kind of like to have it. And instead of patterns, you use knowledge cores. Doesn't look all that bad. Alright, so, spare Thaumonomicon. One knowledge inscriber. And then one knowledge core. Don't have the recipe for vibrant. What is that? Vibrant quartz glass? Oh. Well, there's an easy recipe. I'm at the point where I'm well, maybe not more than, I'm about halfway through my molecular assembler recipe slots. We'll see if I have to add more before the end of the series. I expect the answer is yes, but I've been wrong before. Start. And then the knowledge inscriber, as far as I know, does not have to be connected to the network. I'll put it here just to test that. Yeah, it doesn't connect to the network. You put your knowledge core in here. Each knowledge core holds, what is this, 7 by 321 recipes by the looks of things. And then you can just save your recipe into here. So specifically, I'm looking to save this recipe. Can I import it? I cannot. That's a shame. Apparently, you can't even drag in the components from JEI. You need to actually have it in your inventory. So we need stone, living rock. I should make sure I have more living rock available, and any of these shards. Let's use the water one because we have 100,000 of them. So, draw the recipe. Hit the save button, and it's embedded in the knowledge core. Then you can take out your knowledge core. Where's my Arcane Assembler? Oh, right, I was making that. Go get your Arcane Assembler. Hey, what'd you get here, stupid Enderman? Stop moving my blocks around. As I was saying, go get your Arcane Assembler. It contains stored vis. I think it picks up the vis that was in your wand when you first craft it. This does have to be attached to your network somewhere. Yeah. Let's not put it there because that's kind of in the way of expansion. Put it here. Oh, apparently doing what I just did voided all the vis in it. No big deal. Put a knowledge core in here that now holds a pattern. You can optionally give it more, give it armor, which gives it more vis cost reduction. And lastly, you want to grab your memory card and link it to some source of Sentivis. So you probably want to give it something that contains all the aspects. So let's give it to, we can also link it to our good node here. You link it the same way you link your Attain crafting terminal. Oopsie, settings cleared. I must have held shift while doing that. Why does it say settings cleared? It's supposed to say setting copied. Hang tight. It requires a vis relay interface. So I don't think you can directly link to the assembler. You have to link to an interface that's on the assembler. Let's go craft one of those. Oh, I know what I was doing wrong. I was trying to click the memory card on the vis relay. That doesn't work. You have to click it on the vis relay interface. There we go. Successfully saved settings. That's what I was looking for. And then I think you do link that up to directly to the assembler. And now both this assembler and my crafting table over there are linked to the same source. So if they're both recharging wands, they'll recharge at half speed. But no big deal. All right, so let's get some overclockers or acceleration cards for this. Just makes it craft faster. For any realistic crafting task, you're bottlenecked by this instead of acceleration cards though. But anyways, next up, let's give it some armor. I'll probably just yoink the set that I was using because I don't use it very often, and I'll make a spare helmet for it. Without any equipment, its crafting cost is 80%. Seems higher. Was it the wand 7? Oh, I guess I had the helmet on. So as you put these components on, the cost goes down to 70%. You can give it better equipment if you really care to bring that cost down further. I don't. So now, though, I should be able to request Arcane Stone. If I request 1,000, it doesn't seem to understand the immediate need for this. Like it'll just start crafting with what it's got available. But at some point, what does this craft use? Terra and Ignis, I guess? It uses Ignis slow enough that I don't seem to be draining it. But at some point, it'll drain the Terra and the buffer. And then at that point, the crafting will slow down to the rate at which I can recharge it. But that's nonetheless going to be far faster than the rate that I'm consuming this stuff here in the Blood Altar. So next step is to, let's see, I have a ME cable here, but I think that's on the P2P network. I just need to get some channels over here so I can automatically supply this chest with Arcane Stone. Just gotta link up some P2P tunnels, and now we can have a let me up. Have a export bus here that'll provide. Oh, I have to configure it. Arcane Stone. I could put a crafting card in here. It's probably safe to do so, but instead what I'll do is I'll just, when I see that I'm low on Arcane Stone, request, another 2,000. Well, okay, maybe it's not safe to do because my living rack production is not quite good enough to keep up. I just recently added some logistics chassis here to automatically supply stone and wood to these systems, although why are you not placing anything? Block placer. Hello? Place oh, I'm missing a piece of redstone. Where did that go? Weird. Alright, well, I guess that's why my living rack automation was broken. Whoopsies. Now it's fixed. Anyways, for that reason, I won't put the crafting card in yet. I'll just manually batch request large bundles of Arcane Stone from time to time. I'm also going to make a small change to the way I store the output product here. I'm still going to store them in drawers, but instead of using these big drawers, let's chop these down. I'm going to store them in the smaller 2x2 drawers, and for the lower tier slates, or I guess the higher tier slates, only dedicate one slot to each of the slate types. That way I can have, as little as 8 stacks per slate type. Unfortunately, drawers don't have the downgrade in this version that makes them only hold 1 stack, so this is like a slightly hacky workaround for that. I just realized something. The item in the Blood Altar, it doesn't rotate like it does in, like I'm used to in like Minecraft 1.12. Instead, it turns with you. It's always orthogonal to you. It's orthogonal to your plane of vision, whatever your vector of vision. Kind of cool. And that side projects there has managed to kill off just about enough time to top off our mana pools. Looks like they're just a sliver short of topped off, which is perfect. Let's craft another couple ingots of Terra Steel. And finally, I think it's time to make our Elven portal. So we have to craft, or we needed 2 Terra Steel for the Glimmering Living Wood, and then the pylons, 2 of these. Go. And we need a few more things, I think. We just need some living wood for the rest of the portal frame. Let's grab a whole stack. And last but not least, we need 2 mana pools, I believe, to hold the mana that powers the portal. And let's get a mana tablet as well, so we can actually move some mana into the pools. Can I craft these yet? I think we can, right? I just have to actually I just have to actually make the Attune Stone. Nice. Alright, let's go set it up. I believe in this version of Botania, the portals care about exactly where your mana pool and Natura pylon are. So I'm going to get my Lexica Botania and have it show me the exact shape. At least I think the Lexica Botania is capable of doing this. Yeah. Alright. And then we'll stab this to the ground somewhere near our mana production. This will do. Right here. Actually, I want it above the ground, so it's easy to turn the portal on and off. And all you have to do is place the blocks over their ghosts, and we should be good to go. I'll even fill in my corners. Etho would be proud of me. We need to make sure our mana pool is in mana in tablet mode, so you can shift right click with a wand in function mode to toggle that. And then we just drop our mana tablet in. That'll, I believe, 1 mana tablet holds up to half a mana pool of mana. So mana tablets hold quite a large amount of mana. Do the same here. I should fill in the gap here so that items don't accidentally fall into the void. But you know, I'm too lazy. Good enough. And then we'll use this mana tablet to transfer mana into these pools, which naturally have to be in this mode. Take mana from tablet mode. It only takes a relatively little bit of mana to open the portal, and it takes a small trickle of mana per, unit time to keep the portal open. It's probably a small enough trickle, honestly, that once I have a way of automatically refilling these mana pools from our mana production, that I'll just leave the portal open. But for now, we don't have a great way of moving mana. I mean, we could just use mana spreaders. That's not quite ideal, is it? Anyways, mana's there, perfect. So now we just right click the Elven Gateway core and it hums to life. Roll your Lexica Botania through and you get an upgraded Lexica Botania that has all the Elven information in it. So it has basically this Alphamancy tab before was like, it had like 1 item in it. Now it has all the elf trading stuff. Although personally I find it easier to use JEI or NEI to see the actual trades. So generally speaking, it's you trade some Botania material for some Elven version of it. So Living Wood becomes Dreamwood, turns 2 mana steel to 1 Elementium, mana pearls to Pixie Dust. This is a trade we need right now because we need Pixie Dust for the flower, among other stuff, the Rune of Gluttony and stuff, but yada yada yada. Apparently you can... What? You can trade iron for iron? Okay. I don't know why these recipes exist, but they do. Ooh, what's this? I think this is for late game blood magic. We'll have to do this later. But in any event, right now let's just get some Pixie Dust. So that's mana pearls. Yeah, we'll trade for half a stack. So I think it might cost a little bit of mana per trade. I can't tell, our mana pools are almost empty anyways. But end of the day, mana's a pretty easy resource to come by, so whatever. Alright, here's our mana dust. In fact, I'm going to use some right now to automatically refill these mana pools. If we put a dominant... Well, actually, let's just put a recessive rune on each of these mana pools so that they shoot their mana out to these mana pools. How does that sound? There's 4 types of, I guess they're called spark augments. I'm going to ignore isolated and dispersive for now, but dominant and recessive affect how eager that spark is to send mana. So dominant sparks will try to receive mana from all non-dominant sources, recessive sparks will try to give mana to all non-recessive sources, and a normal one just, is like the tier in between. What is this recipe? Rune of Earth? Okay, that's not bad. I might have to get, cheat a little, well, not cheat, but have the imbued slates be crafted a little bit sooner. Because right now our altar goes in order and crafts the lowest tier slate first, and it'll probably be a good couple of hours before it gets around to making imbued slates. Yeah, so far we're only like a stack and a half way through blank slates. Which, I mean, that's only tier 1 slates. Imbued slates are tier 3, so to cheat, all I have to do is, well, to skip the line. I guess cheat has a different meaning, but take this filter and specifically say Ender Isle filters don't accept drag and drop from NEI yet. Man, these small quality of life upgrades, I miss them so much. But at this point, the, it'll only craft imbued slates. Therefore, by putting recessive augments on this spark and that one, it'll deliver mana to any mana pool that has a spark on. Which apparently I don't have auto-crafting yet. And thus, we can automatically keep mana supplied to our portal so that it stays open. There's nothing wrong with closing and opening the portal as you need it. It takes a relatively small, for one-time infusion of mana to open it. So, like, if you're not going to use it for several days, it does make sense to close it. But I'm not going to bother with that. Our mana is automated anyways. Alright, moving on. Let's work our way towards the Kekamirus. So this requires a Rune of Gluttony. The rest of the stuff we have now, that's a tier 3 rune. So that all tier 3 runes are made with a tier 1 rune, a tier 2 rune. So the tier 1 runes are the elements and mana. The tier 2 runes are the seasons. And the tier 3 runes are the deadly sins. In fact, let's pull all those up. And there are there are no extra runes this time. No mod, no Botania add-on. Adds even more of them. So far, we've only made the tier 1. So let's move on to tier 2. In fact, let's unpin. Well, let's actually start by making a batch of tier 1 runes. Each craft makes 3 of these, and runes are not consumed when used on the runic altar. So like a rune of spring does not consume the rune of water or the rune of fire that goes into it, which is pretty convenient. Having just put these spark augments on, I guess they're on these, I realize they're making my runic altar crafting quite slow because it's sending, half of the mana we produce over to the pylons, and only the other half gets that. Well, maybe not. Maybe these mana spreaders are full all the time. Let's take a look. Maybe it preferentially gives it to nearby mana spreaders? Okay, maybe looks like there's actually nothing to worry about here. It just looks like basic mana spreaders are slower than I thought they are, because crafting runes is looking to take a little while. Let's upgrade these to the next tier mana spreader then. So there are Elven mana spreaders. Let's see, Elven mana spreader, and they're not that bad. Just instead of mana steel and living wood, it's dreamwood and elementium. These Elven mana spreaders are really only a stopgap until you get to the Gaia ones. However, the Gaia mana spreader is made from an Elven spreader, so no harm using these. We'll just upgrade them when it comes time. In practice, I don't think this had a terribly high impact on crafting speed. It's definitely faster, but now we're just bottlenecked on mana generation rate. And we're probably actually already kind of bottlenecked on mana generation rate, because the mana being generated it's little enough that one normal mana spreader can handle it. Well, can handle one half, so in theory they shouldn't have seen any speed improvements, but it did, so I don't know where it comes from. I suspect it does have to do with the spark interaction somehow. Nonetheless, I'm not going to stress it too much. I'm already like halfway done with the crafting. Set air and... Whoopsies, I meant to pin mana. Air and mana left. Unlike the other tier 1 rune recipes, the Rune of Mana seems to only give 1 per craft. The others all gave 3. On the other hand, I think the Rune of Mana just is used the least. I'm not going to be using Rosa Arcana, I've already done that. So yeah, I guess that if to that end, it's probably less important that I make a lot of them. Anyways, I'm almost done making all the tier 1 runes, at which point we can move on to the tier 2, the seasons. This pack isn't like Celestial Journey where I need literally hundreds of thousands of tier 1 runes. No, these 20-some might actually just be enough for the entire pack. So, next step are the tier 2 runes. As I said before, they refund the tier 1 runes that go into it. So, that's nice and easy. The only real cost of these, then, is that they all take an imbued slate each. And I guess I have to craft, like, some number of cakes. That's not too bad. I guess let's make the cakes. Unfortunately, Silk Touch does not allow you to pick up cake. As far as I know, there's no way to pick up a cake entity in world into the item. Oh well. They're not like difficult to craft or anything. Would have just been a cute trick. Have you ever thought about the fact that one cow can just give an endless amount of milk? Oopsies. That a little weird. It's kind of weird to me. Based on the crafting rate, I think the tier 2 runes actually take significantly less mana to make than the tier 1s. Because, relatively speaking, they're crafting like instantly. Not that I'm complaining. Next up on random observations Jimmy makes while crafting, that little glowy bit in the center of the runic altar, it gets brighter as the craft gets closer to completion. Kinda cool, right? I don't know, I just don't notice these things when I automate the runic altar because I don't look at it. I went ahead and crafted 8 each of the seasonal runes. All that's left are the tier 3 deadly sins. However, these take demonic slates, which have to be... Oh no, these are tier 4 altar slates. Never mind. I was about to say they require a tier 5 altar. But turns out that's a lie. So, let's switch our altar from making imbued slates over to demonic slates. The altar is not very fast at doing this because... Well, I have 0 functional runes on the altar for now, but it'll slowly craft them. In the case of these runes, because again, they refund all the runes that go into them, they really only cost a demonic slate and 2 mana diamonds. And you even get 2 each, right? They're incredibly, incredibly cheap, with the exception of the infrastructure it takes to get all the way up. But the runes themselves are quite easy to make. So, the cake flower requires 1 rune of gluttony each. Once I have, let's aim for maybe 8. Well, I guess let's go with 7 because my chunks are odd based, right? So I can fit 7 cakes probably right above this cake reactor, or 7 cake eating flowers. So I'm gonna wait for a couple of those slates to craft, and then make the gluttony runes, and then we can make the cake flowers. Here comes the last of the gluttony runes. Good old gluttony. I'm hungry. Give me cake. Nope, too full to eat. And then the process of turning these into the flower shouldn't be that difficult, right? 2 whites, 2 oranges, 2 browns, and a pixie dust. Speed crafting. Let's see how long it takes to make these. 1. First one's the fastest, right? Or the slowest. My mechanical user is too slow. Worst speedrun ever. Alright. Nonetheless, 7 cake flowers. I can never pronounce the name. I'm going to turn them into the floating variant so they don't have to actually be planted on dirt. This is a minor convenience. Any Botania flower can be crafted with a floating flower. You can craft the non-functional floating flowers directly. To get the floating variant. Anyways, I have 8 floating Kikimirius. However you pronounce these. Maybe I'll set up like a layer of glass above the well, no, I can't put a layer above it because that's where the fire has to go. I guess we'll put it 2 layers above. Here's a cake reactor in all her glory. 7 cake eating flowers. Each one has its own dedicated mana spreader. I should make sure they're actually linked correctly. I think I placed if you place the flowers after you place the spreaders, they almost always just link to the nearest one correctly. And all we have to do is light it up. So again, the visual effect goes out, but it is still running. one of the mana pools has a mana void under it, so that it will continue to accept mana even when full. That'll cause this one flower specifically to just keep eating cake, and therefore it will always it'll keep the water puddle down here from filling up completely. So let's let a couple. Well, wait, there it goes. It's already started. Once the fires start to spread to the water, I found that it tends to, like, once the process gets going, it goes more quickly. I think what's actually happening is it literally catches the water. Like, the water counts as being on fire. You obviously can't see it, but it means that I don't actually have to start the process by lighting all the netherrack around the edges on fire. So there we go. Now we have fully automated cake production from water, and we're turning that cake into precious Botania mana. Then we can use this mana to make Terra Steel much more quickly. Just to make sure that all the flowers are in range of all the cakes, we can build and equip a Mana Seer monocle. It goes, I guess, in your baubles, and when you mouse over a flower, it shows you its range. Oh yeah, these flowers have huge range. Tough to see the exact Y, like how far down it scans, but the fact that it's eating cakes at all, right, means that it's getting far enough down, because all the cakes are on the same Y level. There is a slight problem that it appears I don't make cake fast enough to power all 7 cake-eating flowers at full speed. I could expand the size of this mana pool. I guess that's probably the easiest way to do it. Or probably I just honestly don't care. Good enough for government work. Lastly, just slap a spark onto each of these mana pools. 5, 6, 7. And now when we craft Terra Steel, the mana can be pulled from all of our mana pools. So get all the mana things. Mana Steel, mana Pearls, mana Diamonds. Mana. Mana, it's starting to not sound like a word anymore. And I guess we don't have enough mana in our pools to even make one piece of Terra Steel quickly. Oh no, there's one. But it did look like it didn't pull mana from all the pools. So why don't we rearrange things a little bit here? I'm actually not quite sure why the mana pool didn't, or the spark didn't pull mana from the furthest mana pools. Maybe it did and I just didn't notice. The actual range of the spark is 25 by 25 by 25. So it should be able to reach. Oh no, yeah, okay, it does reach all the mana pools. That's about what I expected. Nonetheless, I'm going to set up this chunk here, completely covered in mana pools. I went ahead and put recessive augments on these sparks, so those sparks should give up their mana to any mana pool that has a spark on it. And what this will do is that this here will serve basically as a large mana battery, right? We'll have 49 pools here, 7 by 7. Each one can hold, can hold 1 mana pool's worth of mana, but this will serve as a mana battery to hold a tremendous amount of mana, so that when we craft Terra Steel, it can be fast. If needed, we can also tile our mana battery vertically. So, we can hold basically 49 mana pools every. I think it probably takes about 2 Y levels per slice. So 49 mana pools per 2 Y levels. I think that's honestly overkill, but who knows? Maybe we need a lot of mana later. I'll leave that as an option. But for now, I think we will wrap up here and just let the mana pools fill between episodes. We'll come back next time, see how far we've gotten, and go from there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.